Good morning. My name is Mr. Watanabe. Just to introduce, I'm very grateful to the National Institute of Defense Study for giving me this valuable opportunity today. Today, I received this talk, and then I'd like to share my thought. And this topic, stressing Japan defense industry, is wide, and I don't think I can cover everything. So I'm still in the middle, but I want to share my idea, and then I want to get your feedback from you. So I want to first start with the Japanese Industry Association, and then I want to share my idea with you. First of all, Japanese security environment. Uh, Last week, the United States released its national security strategy last week. I'm not going to in detail about this document today, but I believe that the Japanese security environment has reached a major turning point. So, with the high quality and then cheap and mass defense equipment is increasingly important. That's my understanding. To believe this, we have to use speedy devices like AI, quantum computing, and drones, which undergo rapid technological innovation, is a very important issue. Now, regarding ATLA, with the director of ATLA, with his effort, I think this department has been advanced extremely, and they're going to expand the market, and the major effort has been required. And the war in Ukraine has highlighted, and then still continued, and then we learned many things from them. So it is important. A lot of modern warfare, I mean, ammunition consumption, and the drone and the vulnerability of the supply chains. So, as a national policy, the national security strategy, which positions the defense industry as a defense capability itself, is due to be renewed by the end of next year. So I believe it is necessary to move away from dependence on government demand and define and strengthen the industry as a fundamental industry that supports the existence of the nation. So, in order to reconstruct, what do we have to think? So, I'm going to talk about the following 5 points. First is the First point is discussion. The first is the R&D and the demonstration. Secondly, international cooperation and equipment transfer. And then this does not stay, but how we can extend this idea to the market in the world. The third is procurement and the supply chain. How we can strengthen our production base. The fourth is industry cybersecurity, which is very important for the industries. And then fifth is industrial infrastructure, that is corporate organization and the human resources. I want to talk about corporate organization and human resources. And then I would explain and these items step by step. And this chart was created by Mr. Ikegami. And then, so I want to explain the entire picture with this chart. And I'm skip this detailed story. But before going to the main talk, it has been said the Japanese technology power has been declined. And so this has been said by many people. But what I want to talk about the strength of the Japanese technical power, and Japanese equipment is not inferior than those of other countries. And what is the strong point of Japanese? And the device and then the materials are very strong. And as an example, there is like carbon texture, and the right hand side is the war pipe, and this was the this carbon complex material has been used for FT that's significantly reduced weight and was later applied to civilian aircraft. And then, and so-called fastener, without using fastener, we can assemble aircrafts. And this further enhance the device to reduce the weight and apply it to aircraft. And then another is the ceramic technology. So ceramic technology are essential for the heat resistant part of the jet engine and as a foundation for high power letters. This is very valuable technology. And then power semiconductor electric devices is also very important, which is written in the right hand side. This is the normal fight craft, and this is the uh, first applied ESA laser in the world, and this laser was installed first in the world, and this such a technology has been advanced. So these three technologies have been applied to superjet fighters and radars and missiles and the GCAP. So I want Japan's technology be used in a meaning way. And fourth, there is a solid rocket motor technology, and these are used as a booster for the H jet. This is a world number one technology. And by using this technology, uh, we have a high tech operation for the radar and the jet fighter. So no inferior than other words. But how we can enhance this technology, we need to obtain advanced technology, and then we need unmanned technology as well, and then AI content technology also, and then strategic adoption of cutting edge technology development and demonstration. And first, this is a so-called game-changing technology, and this will decide the future status. And then we are working as a ATLA, and then we established the innovation research was established. And then TABA, referring to TAFA, we have a very powerful research development. And then article of modern welfare defense and how quickly we important game-changing technologies such as AI, quantum technology, and drones. And then how we can develop this technology and then foster this technology is very important. And then we have research and development is in the defense force. And then together they develop the system. So I skip this one. And even if you developed this wonderful technology, there is still barrier. So we take off this barrier by realizing of the deregulation technology demonstration. So what we learned from Ukraine war, their power they test before going war, and then they have a cycle to reform the devices. And this developed the environment of the demonstration. In Japan, um, we need an environment that we can test the speedy, and this is we need a set of the sandbox. So we have an ease for the air law and the land law, and then actually we want to the sandbox should be set up, and then it is important to revise the defense force law to realize, for example, Ministry of Defense and also the Cabinet Secretary to coordinate across the ministry and agency to make adjustment to use. By this, for the operator and the development developers, and also so that the civil or the industry can use this space. So the operator and the development and have enhanced the precision of those devices. That is very important. So for this, and there is some examples from other countries. So right-hand side is UAS testing center in Belgium or counter UA, and then also one in Korea. And this is a drone flighting center. And these are important for military facilities. So the counter drone and a facility to use drone is very important. It is used not only for the military facility, but also the drone is targeted with the civil industries. For this reason, various countries are building counter center and then do testing and the demonstrations. As you see this slide, these are the photos of Belgium National Center, UAS Test Center, and the South Korean using drone flight. This is not huge, but open to the civil industry. So private sectors can do a demonstration and show their power. So they can deploy in early stage and then show the capacity of counter drone or drones, and very helpful. So these initiatives should be done in Japan as well. Next is strategic technology sourcing. I want to talk about this strategic technology sourcing. And we are now in this situation that we use domestic devices. We have connection with Taiwan and Korean, and then we can utilize the civil technology cooperated with private sectors, and then so-called we use the technology scouting, which is very important. And if there are premising startup, we can use the technology, and then we can enhance our Japanese technology, which is important. And needless to say, it is extremely important for ATAC staff and the researchers who have been working on this issue up until now to participate in international conference and then build a network with talented researchers overseas. And I hope these efforts will be further strengthened. So co-researcher Ikegami pointed out that ensuring that the domestic research will be the driving force, it is necessary to they consider the overall picture and technology and equipment portfolio strategy, including what holding technology to introduce this. Now, accelerating investment in dual-use technologies. The funding framework is also important. Investment should be focused on areas that have important on both civilian and the defense. And the investment such investment has to be performed. And then we also have a Inkdale. This is the VC investments, and OSC, that is Office of Strategic Capital, which provide long-term loans to help companies overcome the valley of this. So they provide the long-term loans of the money. So using this as a model, we want to realize this function. So I believe it will be appropriate for the Ministry of Defense and the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry to work together to establish the Japanese version of Defense and Economic Security Innovation Fund. So from now on, I want to talk about ATLA. In the Japanese market, it is very difficult to get away from the high price and to overcome the limitation of the high price. But we want to extend to the international market, and that actually has been done currently. So there is some example of the Mogami. So we want to further take these examples. And then last year, the reverse of the operation fee, so we transfer the license, and which is good, and the transfer equipment for the Mogami class destroyer. In addition, the division of the three principal operation guideline in 2020 also relaxed regulations on the transfer of the parts and the licensed product. Going forward, it will be necessary to improve the operational procedures of export control. There are still issues remain. So along with the easiness of this procedure, we have to speed up this operation. And next is to promote international business. So then will be further important. And then the number of using this will be increased. So the actual job will be increased. So we need international business promotion management has to be located under ATLA. This is the independent corporation. It can be better to be a corporation. And by using this and then advancing the actual job, I think we can improve this department. And also, we need the cooperation of the each ministries is important to enhance this PMO. And also, the total trading companies that are not incorporated before, but in the future, there is a high power of the general trading company, especially the capacity of the logistics. So we need to incorporate this expertise, and then we promote this PMO. And further, we need a revitalization of the civil privatizing business to business, B2B. And in the future, it will be important to shorten the speed up of development by mutual completing specific technology that Japan does not have and with other countries. And we use the licensed module from abroad or already approved license. Actually, there is a NIST, National Institute of Standards in the States, and then they approved the licensing, and they also approve the licensing overseas. So And then it is trustful you to use the company certified organization, or the product in Korea and Taiwan is cheaper, so we can enjoy these merits and including those products, and then we can enhance the trusty and also reduction of the prices. And then uh, on the other hand, the Japanese product also has a high reliability, and we have a good supply chain. So if we can enter into the global supply chain, we can expect a high range of the cost reduction. However, cooperation with overseas, and for example, there is a MOSA standard, which is very important to meet this standard. I will talk about this one later. And then next is the strategic approach to international exhibition. And actually, we have DSEI Japan, and this is the showcase of our country, and then utilize this. And then this was actually DSA Japan, which was held in May, and then ATAC made a concerted effort and achieved great results. So going forward, we hope to strategically position the exhibition and attending the exhibition, and then expand the business chance. And so LTLA is already well known. So we want to show our brandness, and then our international recognition, brand power of Japanese company has to be dispatched to abroad. Next is Japan-US Corporation diecast, and also next generation fighter GCAP. And diecast is a very important initiatives, and they work together on joint missile production and developing the diecast and a huge of IMPO. We recognize an extremely important initiative that will integrate the production bases of Japan and the United States, and also uh, to making these together is a greater fighter jet development project. Uh, and then we further extended this technology. And GCAP, Japanese technology is certain, and then we want to show that the Japanese technology is very advanced in GCAP. So to show this is very important. Now, ongoing support for the Indo-Pacific region through ODA and OSA will contribute to regional stability, and active participant in the US-led PIPIR will help strengthen supply chain for drone and other equipment.
Strengthening supply chain. About the supply chain, Japan actively engaging in this PIPA to strengthen supply chain together with the allies and like-minded nations. This will be critical for our future. Now, let me turn our eye to the procurement and supply chain. The lesson from the war in Ukraine is that we need a surge capability and capacity that can withstand attrition war, and Ukraine struggled but now realizing this capacity, and this will be our challenge too. In Japan's context, now in case of emergency, can we secure inventory of ammunition and missiles, and in case of emergency, can we ramp up production lines quickly to keep up the pace of the developing war? This is a very serious challenge, and challenge common to many countries in the world. And to address this challenge, collaboration with other countries is critical. In the past, we did not do to a high extent, but for example, BOM bill of material or SBOM software bill of materials, that shows what company in which country made certain parts or components and when it was manufactured. This information contained in BOM and SBOM and helps to visualize the supply chain in Europe, not just in defense, but for all products. This is going to become a requirement. And this helps to eliminate the risk of depending on certain countries and to address this kind of risk by diversing the sources, or we can reduce sourcing from a specific nation if there is any risk. This SBOM or BOM can be used for such strategic approaches, and Europe and United States and Korea is now requiring BOM and SBOM, and Japan also has to accelerate our efforts in this regard. Now, to introduce and adopt cutting technologies, I said a keyword is MOSA, Modular Open System Approach. By introducing MOSAR, actually the United States requires it by law. And why did it make it a legal requirement? Because they wanted to introduce cutting-edge technology while avoiding vendor lock-in and minimize the cost and promote or enhance competitive advantage. MOSA was a critical element to achieve these objectives. Let me refer to this chart on the right. In the past, the systems were an integrated monolithic system consisting of sensor or missile part or the weapon controlling part. They were all integrated into one monolithic system. But in this new MOSA approach, they will be made as an independent modules. And certain modules can be replaced by cutting-edge technology. So without the remaking the whole system, you can adopt the cutting-edge technology where it is possible. This is an international standard design philosophy, and to lower the entry barriers and to enter the global supply chain centering around the United States. This is going to be a table stake to join that global supply chain. And in that sense, MOSA is highly important. Japan is finally at the phase to consider introducing it. South Korea has K-MOSA and now introducing it because South Korea understands the importance of MOSA with regards to getting into the US-led supply chain. Let me skip this. I have been talking about highly technical aspects, but about the supply chain, centrally, we need an organization which centrally manage the technology standards and organizations. We need an expert organization but if we establish such an organization under the government, it may not work well. For example, the risk management for BOM or SBOM or rulemaking for MOSA or production or maintenance plan when surge is required. To cover these initiatives, I propose to establish a production base and standardization PMO, Project Management Office. Now let me turn our eye to industrial cyber security. Cybersecurity, I think, is the fourth pillar. At the ATLA, the US standard NIST SP 800-171, that is an existing US standard, and based on this, Japan's cybersecurity standards are being built. And this is good to be aligned with the United States, but actually the United States is going one step ahead of us. And starting last month, it is now migrating to a new standard, CMM 2.0. That's an official requirement now in the United States. So in this context, getting aligned with the United States will be important. Let me tell what this is. This CMMC 2.0 is based on NIST SBO 800, but this requires the third-party certification or accreditation. And this is not easy, but we also have to adopt this third-party certification element. By doing so, we can enhance the cybersecurity of Japanese companies, which contributes to our Japan's credibility, and also it lowers the entry barriers for Japanese companies to do business overseas. This will be very important initiative. Finally, as a final pillar, let me talk about people, organization, and optimization of industrial organizations. So what I have discussed so far all hinges on people and organizations. Currently, we have a diminishing supply of a skilled workforce and the shortage of digital talents. These are the biggest bottlenecks for Japan, especially the great AI talents is most sought after talent, especially in defense area across the globe, and Japan is lagging behind in this front. Actually, Japan's great talents are leaking outside of Japan. When I visited South Korea, I was asked a question whether Japan will be fine with this problem, and I understand this is a serious problem. We have to improve the treatment of the engineers in the defense area as an immediate challenge. Also, the people exchange between private and the public sector, reskilling and improving treatment of those talents are important to develop and retain the talents we need. Also, having a defense business as just one department of enterprises is not good, because based on this current model, some companies may be concerned about reputation risk, and they may not be able to adapt to the rapidly changing defense environment. But they have to get the understanding of stakeholders, and to ensure they can do so, for example, spinning off the defense business or establishing joint venture might be an effective options. By doing so, they have to shift to a more agile business structure, and this requires the government's full backing. This is my tentative conclusion, a kind of interim conclusion, but let me summarize some immediate actions we have to take. The first one is fundamental reform of people organizational foundation, because defense industry relies on people and organization. So we have to optimize the people development and industrial base in parallel and in continued basis. This is very important to eliminate the bottleneck, the biggest bottleneck in our defense industry. The second challenge is accelerating innovation implementation. We have to quickly adopt the cutting edge technology to elevate the SDF capabilities. At the same time, we have to enhance the Japan's technological base itself. To do so, as I said earlier, I believe that it is necessary to establish special zone for testing the technologies, and the innovation fund, Japanese version of Defense and Economic Security Innovation Fund. Then third point is resilience of production base. To be able to respond to and contingency, we have to build a production based on supply chain which is both flexible and resilient. and also needs to enhance our industrial advantage, industrial competitiveness based on international standards by adapting and aligning to international standards. Fourth point is about equipment transfer. By transferring and exporting defense equipment, we have to promote a security environment which is favorable to Japan, while also creating a business environment where Japanese companies can take initiative and expand their businesses. And this will also help to strengthen the defense production and supply chain basis itself. So as I said, by ensuring that we can implement the cutting-edge equipment technology in a reliable and swift manner, we can enhance Japan's defense capability and realize a defense industry which is a foundational industry that supports the nation's survival and existence. This is just my interim report of my thoughts, and I am open to your feedback to improve those ideas. This concludes my presentation. Thank you very much.